Hey everyone, this is to be me talking about Summerslam. I'm going to talk about all the matches. They may not be in order, but this is the order I can remember them in. So first match is Sheamus versus Randy Orton. And the match is okay at best. It wins when Sheamus hits 2 bro kicks in a row to Randy Orton's mush and gets the win. That's it. I mean, he's not really promoted either guy. I think people are pretty sick of this already. Second match was... It wasn't Stephen Amell, was it? No, it was Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. And this ended... Sorry, I'm going to get cross about this. This ended in a double count-out. Let me say the thing is, on pay-per-view, on a main event, whatever you want to call it, on a special event, whatever they want to call it now, this ended in a double count-out. WWE, do you want me to explain in how many ways that sucks? Number 1, this is what WCW used to do. 2, this is one of the reasons that WCW went out of business. 3, you're going to piss people off. This should be a definitive finish. Even if it's a fuck finish, it should be a finish. A double count-out is not definitive. There is not a winner and a loser. Even if you want to see Dolph won by bloody count-out. Did he miss his mark or something? You pissed people off. People were so cross that you heard booing from it. And is that really what you want on your pay-per-view? Anyway. Next was Stephen Amell versus... versus Stardust with tagging with Stephen Amell was tagging with Neville with Wade Barrett. I feel it's called King Barrett, sorry. So King Barrett comes down and he's wearing metal shoulder pads. He looks like a complete and total idiot. I mean, I'm sorry. They need to get that King gimmick off him now. Anyway, Stephen Amell does pretty well. Neville beats Barrett with the red arrow off the top rope and he looks spectacular as always. Then it's what I remember, I'm sure this was before this, but it's the Lucha Dragons versus the Matadors versus the Primetime Players versus the New Day. And the New Day showed why they're number 1 in that division. I mean, the Primetime Players are alright at best, but I actually care about the New Day. There are people in it I actually care about. There are 3 guys who are very talented. You got Big E's a big lumbering, jacked up guy. You have, Kofi who's like flying around doing kicks guy, and then you've got Xavier Woods who's just like a great promo, but a great sneaky heel as well. And that's what's good about them. They've got 3 guys who do basically different jobs for them, and that's what makes any heel faction great, or any faction in general great. Anyway, they get the champions backs, and yay, because the Primetime Players really weren't doing it for the division. Alright, so yeah. The next bit was it? Yeah, the Divas thinking away. What's it called? The Divas 3-way match, which was elimination. So Brie Bella eliminates Team Bad. I hate that name. Sorry, Team Bad. When Brie hits an X Factor off the top and does something to Tamina, I can't remember. And then it's TPCB, and by the way, WWE, you may want to do Google searches before you name a team something, then you don't have to rename them. Just a thought. They get the victory after Becky Lynch does something. Then it's Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family versus Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns basically wins clean over Bray Wyatt. I don't see the point of this feud at all. I don't think WWE Creative doesn't have anything for these teams to do. It's like just feud with each other. It's like, give Bray Wyatt a title, make him beat. This is gonna be spoilers, but make him beat Seth Rollins for that world title. Give him a title reign. Make him legitimate, because at the moment this guy's just spinning his wheels. He's got nothing to focus on. He has no reason to fuck with Roman Reigns at the moment. None whatsoever. He's just doing it because he beat him in a wrestling match once. There is no legitimacy here. There's no emotional gravitas to this at all. And plus, when you've got two people in your faction, that's not really a faction now, is it? It's just a tag team. You should have at least about 3 people and not 4. I know that Eric Rowan's injured. Get somebody else. Get somebody who's not doing anything at the moment. Get Wade Barrett. Get anybody. Get anybody to do it. Get Cesaro. Get anybody to be in there. And just say, right, we can push you by being in this faction. You could be with Bray Wyatt and all this sort of stuff, and you can do all this weird shit. Anyway, yeah, there was that. Then there was, God. Then it was the paper champion incarnate Seth Rollins versus John Cena. Now, if anything proves that Seth Rollins is a paper champion, it was this. He was like, wrestling. He's wrestling with John Cena. There's full fishing all over the shop. And then Jon Stewart comes down. And he interferes, and Seth Rollins gets the win. He basically hits John Cena in the gut and puts the chair down so he can give him the pedigree on the chair. If anything proves that he's a paper champion, it's this. He's now even more untenable. The fact that his title had to be saved by a comedian. Not only a comedian who just came off hosting over 10-year reign on a comedy show. Yeah. That's our WWE champion, guys. That's our United States champion, guys. Well to book yourself into a flaming hole there, WWE. You could have had him interfere in having, smash Seth Rollins in the face. I know it's a heel, but it makes more sense considering what he's been doing to Jon Stewart. That would make more sense, and he gives John Cena heel heat. I know it's heel heat they don't want, but again, it's not purposeful. It's just they had similar goals in costing Seth Rollins a match. Anyway, so he wins with the pedigree on the chair. He's now a paper champion of 2 titles instead of just 1. Thanks for a lot, WWE. Just crosses all the momentum that was behind the US title now as well. Then it was the final. Then it was Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. And these two, they had a really pretty decent match, all considering that Brock Lesnar's pushing nearly 40 now, and I think he is 40, or is he past 40? Anyway, 2 guys who are getting up there in age-wise. They had a pretty phenomenal match. I mean, they were beating the crap out of each other. And Brock Lesnar was bleeding again, and The Undertaker was suplexed on his head at least 4 times. And there's one part where Brock Lesnar picks up The Undertaker and F5s him on a table, which looks pretty brutal. I mean, god damn it, this guy. And Paul Heyman is unexpectedly quiet in this, which is always good. It promotes the idea of fear that The Undertaker is now bringing again. I mean, these guys are putting the hell of a show. There's tombstones and F5s all over the shop, and just no. Anyway, the end of the match comes, and Brock Lesnar gets The Undertaker in a Kimura lock. And The Undertaker does something I don't think he's ever done before, and taps out. I think he's done it maybe once or twice before. But he doesn't count it, because The Undertaker does, because the ref... I'll have to try and do this. So Brock Lesnar has the Kimura lock from the right hand side, I think it is, and the referee's on the left hand side. looking at because there's a Kimura lock, you're on the ground. You're on top as your opponent's on the ground as you're getting extension on it, and the Undertaker's tapping from this side. He's tapping from the right hand side where he's got the lock on. The referee's on the other side, where he's basically looking at and he starts counting one to count. Now, anybody, if this was real, if this was an MMA fight, that guy would be fired. He should be on the side where the thingy is, because numerous things could happen. Number one, his arm could snap. Yeah, that's one thing that the Kimura lock can do, and has done in the past. Actually, I think one of the first times it was used was, I believe it was, the Gracie grandfather. I think his name was, is it Hector Gracie? Anyway, he was fighting the guy who actually didn't, the name was moved over to Kimura, and he had it on and he snapped it. Now the thing is that because it snapped, the guy wouldn't tap out, so they had to throw the towel. So that's one thing that can happen. Second thing that can happen is that the guy can tap from that side. Usually will tap to that side because that's the side that the pain's coming from. Third thing, and most importantly, you need to understand if like the arm's getting sore or dislocated or it's holding it illegally, because there are ways to hold the Kimura lock illegally. Fourth thing, even if he does put pin the arms, which I know this is wrestling and you win by pin or submission, you need to understand that this is a submission hold, and therefore you should be taking both sides. You don't just taking one side. Okay, if Brock Lesnar asked for that match to be redone, or for it to be a victory, I think he'd win his case pretty legitimate, because the guy tapped. And he's not fun to tap, he didn't just go, he's like going at least 3 times on his leg. And Brock Lesnar, being an ex-MMA fighter, lets it go. And then the guy goes, I didn't ring the bell. We saw him tap. And then like Brock Lesnar comes in and gets put in the Hell's Gate and passes out and loses, and the referee just pins it out of the ring, but rightly so. I mean, I'm hoping what will happen tomorrow will be that Brock Lesnar loses it and basically suplexes that guy to Kingdom Come for this. Anyway. Anyway, that was Summerslam. But what did I think of it overall? I thought it sucked. Sorry, it had 4 parts where it made me facepalm. Two times where it made me question the sanity of the people who were booking this stuff. And one time where it made me go, oh God, in a good way. And that one time was during Brock Lesnar and an Undertaker match. And when you've got one match of the card that does this, you sort of need to think about your booking guys. When you got one guy that I see as legitimate in your entire company, you really need to think about how you're booking these people. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the dark match, the piss break match, which was Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. And Cesaro jobs again to Kevin Owens, a guy who got beat 2 times in a row by John Cena. Anyway, pretty poor pay-per-view for SummerSlam, to be honest with you. And I think the thing people say is that they could book this shit better. Anyway, this is Gary C. and for Dreams Make a True, out.